All right. Well, welcome back to Limitless Stories. And on today's episode, I have the pleasure of chatting with Hasnain Raza, but I call him Husky and everyone calls him Husky. We'll get into that in a little bit. He's a dynamic leader with a passion for growth, personal development, and just making overall meaningful connections. And from navigating challenges in his career at Market One to building strong relationships in both his personal and professional life. I genuinely believe Husky has a wealth of insights to share today as we dive into this journey in exploring the role of mindfulness, fitness, and intentional relationship building in his success. We just want to uncover the lessons that shaped him along the way. I'm super excited for this episode. I know Husky from a personal standpoint, but I'm super excited to talk to him on this platform so that he can give this gems to the rest of us and just kind of like help us navigate life from his perspective. So with that being said, I want to introduce Husky. Husky, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. That was a great intro. How are you doing?
Yeah, I did my research, did my homework. You know, when they tell you to go do your homework, you gotta prep properly before you show up. So I'm super excited. Husky, let's get into the Husky name. I'm actually curious. Where did that come from?
Oh, okay. We're gonna go back to grade three in Ndola, small town called Ndola, Zambia.
All right.
I started school. I moved from the capital to a very small town, and it was grade three. And Hasnain seems like a very easy name to say and pronounce, at least maybe because I grew up with it, so I know it. At the time, my grade three friends didn't know what to do. There's a tuck shop at school, and on the door handle of the fridge, it said Husky. And all my friends like, hey, that sounds like your name. In grade three, I thought, yeah, of course it does. He's like, I'm gonna call you Husky. And I said, sure, do your thing. And since then, it has stuck. I've tried to like get rid of it, and it just keeps coming back. And you know what? At this point, I've embraced it. Everybody likes it, and it's different, so why not?
Why do you want to get rid of it? Why do you want to get rid of it?
So I thought it's important to do a rebrand. I can't be a grade three guy, at 33 years old. And so I thought, you know what, it's time for a change. But maybe the lesson is you don't need to change. You should be who you are.
Right.
So yeah, and every time there's one of two answers I get. The first one is, you don't look like a husky. And I was like, which husky have you met that looks like a husky? And I don't know what that means to you. And the second one is, I really like that. That I've never heard that before. That's so cool. I was like, oh, cool. That's nice. So it's one of the
So
two,
this
and it sticks.
the spectrum is either you don't look like a husky or it's really cool. I've never met somebody who is named
Yeah,
Husky. Okay,
yeah,
that's two extremes.
yeah, yeah.
All
That's
right,
funny.
that's good. That's good to know. You mentioned like, Ndola, small town in Z. That's where the origin of the name comes from. I bet that's where the origin of the person Husky is. If you don't mind just taking us through like your background growing up in a small city and how that shaped you to be the person that you are.
I was very fortunate to move around quite a bit when I was young. I was born in Pakistan when I was five. I left to go to Lusaka, which is the capital of a country called Zambia, landlocked. Um, I spent, I think, 3 years there before moving to Andola, which is in a province called the Copperbelt. I think it's one of the largest copper producing provinces in the world.
Right.
It was a very small town. At the time, I thought that's the experience everybody had because that's what I saw around me. But quickly, I realized that growing up in a small town in southern Africa made you see things that people have not seen before.
Right.
And you saw entrepreneurs, you saw people with a lot of ambition trying to leave and come back and make an impact. You saw the power of commodities and why copper is so necessary in the world. You saw a lot of poverty. You saw a lot of happiness. And I think the most important thing I got out of my experience in Southern Africa, I was there from 5 to 18, was that it doesn't really matter what you have. It's, you know, what you do with your life. In Zambia, we didn't really have much growing up. I mean, in a way, where like the things you see in Canada, you don't really have all those things. But it
Right.
was really nice to just be outside and play with your friends. Be outside till late, chatting all night. It's a small things in life that I think I really enjoyed.
Right. So I truly resonate with that. I mean, growing up in Kenya myself, not being from Canada or anything like that, like our realities are very different compared to like the realities of our counterparts who grew up here. So totally resonate with that because you find joy in the small things. The small things tend to give you meaning. The moving aspect can kind of dwindle that idea a little bit because you kind of become accustomed to the lifestyle in wherever you move from. And moving is never easy. So I'm curious, like how moving from Pakistan to Zambia with your family, I'm assuming, how did that kind of like, how was that transition in terms of starting the movement of you moving?
Yeah,
Because I know you came to Vancouver, then Toronto, but like, let's start from the origin.
yeah. I mean, I was 5 when I moved to Zambia. I didn't really know too much as to what's going on. I don't even really remember moving. Um, the question people ask me a lot these days is, "Where you from?" And I don't, Greg, I don't know about you, but I'm guessing you may say, "Oh, Vancouver or Kenya." I really don't have a good answer because I feel like I'm from.
Right.
So I hate saying, "Oh, I'm from Vancouver," or "I'm from Zambia," or "I'm from Pakistan," because it's like, but there's so much. There's a part of me that's so Zambian. There's a part of me that's so Pakistani. There's a part of me that's so Canadian. So, um, I think. But going back to your question about what was like moving as a kid, yeah, it was hard, but I thought it was very normal. I thought every kid does it. So making friends, adjusting, transitioning, it was just something I thought I had to do, and it felt very normal and comfortable. But I think growing up and realizing, hey, I think all those small moves and making friends and all those things actually helped me so much as an adult. So I think as a kid, I didn't know how to make friends. You just go up to someone and say, hey, what's your name? "Oh, my name's Fish." And I say, yeah, let's play. And then you become best friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it takes away a lot of fear, a lot of nervousness that you have. And so yeah, was it tricky? Yes. But do I think that I'd want to be in one place for 15, 18 years of my life and not know what that's like? No. I enjoyed being uncomfortable.
Mm. So that's a really good point. You associate the feeling of you growing up and moving, trying to acclimate to different spaces, and then you
Mhm.
kind of start getting to know people with like at the time you're not really mindful of that. Like you're just as you said, you're just going to the playground like, hey, what's your name? You want to play soccer with us? Sure, come
Yeah.
through. And then before you know it, it's somebody you repetitively start to see over time. And I questioned myself one time. I was having this conversation in my head, and I was thinking, like, as an adult, how do I make my friends? Like, do I
Mhm.
go and talk to them, or do I wait for somebody to congregate a gathering, then like I kind of make friends in a social setup, or am I the one they initiate, or people initiate for me? And I had never thought about that. So I'm curious, like, did you initiate most of your friendships as a child? And did you see a similarity from that point to today? Where like, are you an initiate or you wait for people to come to you as well?
Yeah.
I just thought I should ask you that.
It's interesting, Greg, when you moved when I moved to Canada at 18 in Vancouver, I knew zero people. I had no friends, no family, nothing. And so, guess what? You have to be the person that initiates. Honestly, like I think when you are the person that initiates and brings people together, naturally other people have a strong affinity for you too. Tie their experiences with you, um, and you also realize that if you were going through something like this, there's a chance that a lot of other people are going or are or were going through this. So if you can help them with maybe a skill you have and they don't, that's awesome, right? Like we are very communal people. We are human beings. We communicate, yeah, and we
Right.
get together. Community is such a big part of us. So yeah, I always did it in Vancouver. It took time, but I mean, you a lot of people on my team, if you ask them, a lot of things I say is your network determines your net worth. You should like leaders always eat last. Or like a classic book, but great moral. I do think that when when you bring people together, you ask very good questions. I think there's a level of attraction someone has towards you, and
Mm,
I think it's very, very powerful. to be connected to people like that. Yeah, it's one of those things where when you plan something very random, very different, people don't forget it. And so the more you do, the more they tie those things with you.
Right, like memory creation. I mean, if you
100%,
think,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah. And bringing
if you,
people from all sorts of walks of life together, right? Like we are not different. We have more in common than we have not. But
right.
we don't know that. But it's true.
That's so true because like I had this cab driver once tell me the reason why people hate each other is because they don't know each other. So when you get to a point where you give somebody that chance to like open up, have a conversation, get to know where they're from, what their interests are like, I would never know Husky loves Manchester United if I don't talk to him. And then
Yeah.
that's a common connection, like a soccer connection. Now we can talk about soccer and it can evolve into other things that, come from just that one little similarity. So
Yeah.
definitely see that as a positive thing. And I think for me it's a challenge to do more of that because as you said, moving from a different country, coming here, not knowing anybody, it wasn't easy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm actually curious to see how did that move? At what point from Zambia did you know, okay, Canada is the move? And then from Vancouver specifically, how did you grow your network? Because I see you said your network is your net worth. How did you grow your network once you landed out here?
How did I grow it? A lot of it was not with the intention of growing a network. I think in the beginning, I was like, I just want to make friends. I want to make cool friends. I want to make people that I get along with. So for the first 4 years, I had zero. I was really like not doing so hot. When I went to university, thankfully things changed, and I think the way I built my network initially was not with the intention of, hey, what am I going to get out of you? What are you going to get out of me? It was
Mm,
purely, hey, a lot of people were just like my age or my stage of life professionally. And so what we were doing was just helping each other out. We meet up on a Friday, we spend all night talking about what we're up to, what's working, what's not, what advice we can give one another. The advice was so tangible, it didn't matter what industry you're in, you could take it from one to whether you're in finance or marketing or accounting or a doctor, and whatever you were doing, we were just like, hey, consistency, discipline wins the race. You have bad days, you have good days, right? But remember that the bad days don't last forever, neither do the good, right? So how do you just stay consistent in your race, in your lane? Thankfully, the support network we had built, everybody went on and did really, really good things, right? So through that
mm,
initial nucleus, they expanded and then they met really good people and I met really good people and everybody met really good people and we kept bringing these people back. And you're like, oh God, now it's not just a group of 10, it's a group of 100, it's a group of 200. And it's so, so, so interconnected that, you know, anybody or anywhere you want to go or speak with, it's very attainable just because of, the bond that we created.
right. And it boils down to like just your overall nature of like trying to connect people together. Like it just
Yeah,
looks like it's kept like blossoming in different stages to the point where now you are at a very great company. We'll get to the company part in a bit because I wanna go through the journey of figuring it out at university level to the
yeah,
point where you first get that breakthrough at market one. That journey typically is not spoken about enough because there's a lot of dirty work. You got to get your hands dirty to get to that point where you leverage yourself as an established individual. Take us
yeah.
through some of the challenging moments that you went through prior to that breakthrough and who in your camp believed in you to make that first breakthrough. Because I feel like it takes that one person to like
Yeah,
unlock
yeah.
everything.
So you're speaking of the first breakthrough I had career-wise?
Yeah, let's go with the career part because I feel like that leads up to like market one.
Yeah, 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 it does. I think, fortunately for me, I had a lot of really good people that believed in me. We were all sort of on that same path. And so um, there's a core group of us. There's I think 4 or 5 guys. There's like a very core tight knit group that we have, and we kept pushing each other. We kept building on each other, And I think that was a very, very big piece. I think you know them. Oh, that's my Apple thing. Sorry. I have two other close friends. I think you know them, Buck and Ta. Um, Again, same thing. We believed in each other, and I think having so many people that can help you in different ways was a big thing. But the first major breakthrough I had in my career, it wasn't that big, but I got an internship. At that time, it was massive. I could wake up every day and go to work. You know, it felt so good. I could wear nice
Right.
clothes and go to this office in Gastown. But I was making $400 a month, working 8-hour days. I was an intern um, at at an app at a tech company called Shellfeed. Now is acquired by Kobo, but I helped with their SEO, their CM, their partner development, their social media, the user acquisition. I learned so much, and their CEO Peter was very, very influential in that too. He taught me a lot about how to sell. Um, Moving on to that, I got hired at another tech company, again helping them on the B2B acquisition. On there was I was doing more technical stuff in terms of how to just increase the pipeline size, from 5 mil to 10 mil to 50 to 100 mil in terms of pipeline. Um, and just how to make sure the messages we're sending are very targeted and tailored, and just getting people to set up phone calls and convert them. But
Hmm.
we can talk about, it all sounds so easy and glamorous and all that. But actually, at the company I was at when I got hired, my first full-time job, 6 months in, I was like, oh, I was. They were running out of money. The runway was short, and I got let go along with I think 80% of the team.
Well,
Yeah, in that time, you I was at the time I was also on a work visa, so I really could not afford to not be working. At the time I thought my world came crashing down. I didn't tell my parents anything. I was like, you are so screwed. But I pretended as if I did not get let go. So I would wake up every day. I got let go on the Friday. I took 2 days to sulk. And on Monday, I would go to downtown. Monday to Friday, I would work in the library, have a whiteboard, and just like pretend like I was still employed. In 2 weeks, I got my role in Market One because I was like, there's no way I can screw this up, right?
right.
So that's how those series of events.
Let me pause you there for a second because I'm curious. When you realize that on Friday that you go to work and you realize, man, I'm on a working visa and I gotta make this happen.
Yeah, yeah,
What's your toolkit for navigating difficult moments? Because this is where the mindfulness aspect comes in. Like when you're going through this difficult moments, who do you talk to? What practices do you have to kind of like keep yourself sane during that sulking period so that you can kind of get back on Monday and get back to the library with your whiteboard and get it going? There's certain
yeah.
habits that you've probably built that have helped you in that regard.
That time, Greg, to be honest with you, I didn't have the opportunity to be mindful. I had to just do it. So there's no like, oh, there's just like you either do or you don't, and there's no gray. It's one or the
Right.
other. So I was like, either you go home or you stay. What do you want to do? And you
What are you
do
gonna what are you gonna
it.
tell your parents, bro?
Yeah, I didn't until I told him I got a new job. Like, why'd you get a new job? Like, how could you get a new job? Like, weren't you happy with your other one? I was like, no, no, I like, oh snap, okay, sounds good. Um, yeah, you can't lose it. So, mindfulness at the time was survival, right?
Right. Final fight. So at the time, like there was no like fancy toolkit to dive into because hey man, we gotta get this.
So,
This gotta happen.
no, the what I did was I built my own CRM. I built my own CRM. Who do I need to reach out to? How do I do it? What am I going to say? How am I doing my applications? Who am I interviewing? Why am I doing this? Who do I know? Getting a lot of advice from people. The snowball effect. One who introduces you to another, to another, to another, to another, to another. The snowball grows. Um, I was employing those tactics. I didn't have time to be fancy. I just had
Right.
to impact, 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 impact.
So during that bounce back period, like who did you reach out to that kind of reached out to somebody to reach out to somebody to get to
Yeah,
Market One?
Market One was not surprising. Was not through an introduction. It was an application I did. Um, I applied for the role, and actually this goes back to the fight or flight situation. I applied for the role, and they're like, "Hey, come in for a group interview." No, no, come in. They were like, "Come in for an interview," and I was like, "Sure." I go in, and there's two other people there. I'm like, "Who are you guys?" And they're like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I think we're each other's competition." And it was. There was me and two other people. One was he had an MBA from UBC. I have a arts degree from SFU. He's got some work experience. Another guy was someone that worked at Microsoft for a while, and there was me. And I was like, oh my God, Husky, you were the least qualified with the least experience. You have zero chance. You are the control in this experiment. You know, it's them too, but you're just, you know, the equalizer. At that moment, I was
Right.
like, well, you have nothing to lose. Fight or flight. You be aggressive. And I was
Hmm.
very aggressive. I was very aggressive. I was very honest in my interview. I told them exactly what I thought. I didn't beat around the bush, and they liked it, and they gave it to me. And I was like, "Oh, all right, okay, let's do it,
Oh,
guys."
that's great. That is actually funny. Honesty over anything. I think sometimes when you're just kind of like honest with your situation or what you're going through, it kind of
Yeah,
removes all gimmicks. And even though you felt like you weren't qualified, like your honesty and your bravado just came alive in that interview. And I'm pretty sure when you left, did you know that you got it? Like when you left,
no,
did you have that feeling?
no, I didn't. I legitimately thought I was a control in that experiment. I legitimately thought I was not qualified. And what I learned from that experience, though, is you don't know what they're looking for, right?
Mm,
I didn't know what they were looking for. You know, they didn't want someone that was super seasoned and experienced. They didn't want that. They want someone that was young that could break things and wasn't afraid. I didn't
right.
know that. So actually, I was their top candidate, and I didn't know. But once I did get into Market One, and I was senior enough, I removed the group interviews. I was like, we're not doing this anymore. It is not. We're gonna have one-on-one conversations with people. I can't get to know someone with two other people. It's not the way.
Yeah,
It's
right.
not.
And the nerves too, right? The nerves, as you said, like you had hella nerves before that, but then you didn't even realize like your persona, that's exactly what they were looking for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you get into your Market One now.
Mm.
Tell us a little bit more about Market One and how you've seen it grow from the time you joined to today and how your role on a day-to-day basis so that we can just kind of get an understanding of what Husky does.
Yeah, when I joined Market One, it was a very, very small. When I met my CEO for the first time, I was like, okay, I like this guy is gonna be my best friend. And the first day that he was traveling, we came back. I spent 4 hours with him in the boardroom asking him questions. I was that prepared. I spent so much time with him, and he said, Husky, after that conversation, I knew that we were going to do something great together. But at the time, Market One was very small, was growing. We knew how to sell, but we didn't have any infrastructure built up. So I helped build up all the infrastructure that we have on our back end. But I was building and executing at the same time. And
Mm,
what happens is there's a scale. I cannot do both at the same time effectively. So I slowly started building out a team on the digital end. How do we now build campaigns? How do we make it a turnkey operation? How do we make it in a way that anybody can come and learn the ropes and do a good job?
mm,
Um, we developed a 90-day course, basically a 90-day book. They follow these steps for 3 months, and after that, they can take on any role within our company, and they'll be good to go on the
mm,
digital side, of course. Um, we did a lot of that, and we were pumping out great candidates, great employees. We had a really strong culture, um, and our products were working because people kept coming back. Our retention rates went up quite a bit. Um, Market One is divided into two sections. There's a digital side and there's a video production side. We had no digital until I came in, so I built up all of that. It ended up being, the brains of the business
mhm,
because of how we built it. On the video side, we were using a lot of external contractors, and what that does is our cost is extremely high,
Right.
And because you don't have someone in house, you can't really be creative, right? You have to pay for every time someone comes in.
Right.
Um, we thought, okay, let's bring this in house. And my CEO was like, hey, look, you do the digital, do the video. And I was like, I have no idea. I didn't know what I was doing in digital either. But he's like, listen, I believe in you, and so you should believe in yourself. And I think that's a really good leader, is someone that believes in you when you don't believe in yourself. They know, hey, I know Greg's going to do this. Even though
Hmm.
Greg doesn't know, I know he will, because I know he has what it takes, and maybe that's experience. But he really believed in me.
Right.
It was crazy amount of conviction Farhan had with me. He's like, I know you can do it. Threw me in the deep end. He's like, all right, go. I was like, okay. I found some really good talent, brought them in house. We went from creating, I think, 150 videos a year when we were outsourcing it to close to 1,000 in like 2 years. So we were able to 10x our output and reduce our cost by half. And so when
Wow.
you look at it, you're like, oh, okay, this worked. And so I what I learned from that experience, especially with my CEO and our team, is you don't know what you're capable of until you actually go and try it. There's a lot of failure along the way. I made some bad hires, I made some fantastic hires, but you need to learn what the bad is to know what is good, right?
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, we learned a lot along the way. We built a really nice studio in Vancouver. We built unbelievable partnerships. We're partners with the exchange. Um, we've worked with, God knows, I don't know, like 300, 400 clients now in the last 9 years. We have an amazing team. I love the people that I work with, and
Right.
it's a great sustainable company now.
That's beautiful. First of all, man, congrats on that journey because it sounds very step by step, guide by guide, 90-day, as you said, course,
Yeah.
but it's not. I know there's a lot of hard work, late nights, early mornings, some relationships that have soured, that have grown, and the beauty of it all is seeing the 150 to 1,000, 10x budget coming half by reducing by half by producing better videos, breeding it in house, being the brains behind it. I think that's just such a beautiful story. And I think you mentioned that your CEO believed in you and like him being that leader that kind of gave you the keys. I'm curious to know how you've grown as a leader through these experiences of, coming in as from the first role that you had to now being a leader of, a team. There's certain challenges that you probably have to learn on how to become a better leader, how to become an effective leader. I'm curious what you learned through him and through the experiences that you've kind of outlined.
What I've learned through Farhan is nothing is impossible. It's just pure conviction. It's the belief that we are the best. If we say we are the best, therefore we are the best, right? If we say we're the best, our output always will be the best. Very mission and vision led from that perspective, and I believe in that. If Greg, I say I'm the best at this, I believe it, and therefore my work will be the same. Um,
Mm.
that's what I learned in terms of leadership and execution on that side. But you know, working with so many different people from all walks of life, um, different departments, different teams, different experiences, different skill sets, you learn you learn a lot along the way. And I think the main one is trust your team, be able to let go. A lot of people I know, a lot of people when I'm building them in their leadership positions at Market One, they're like, Husky, I can't, it's hard for me to let go. I'm like, don't worry. Do you believe in the person you're handing that work off to? Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're really good. Let them do it. You had to figure it out too, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, let them do it. We're here. It's not going to be the end of the world. They might make a mistake here or there, but we're there to catch up before anybody else. And
Mm.
giving people the opportunity. You'd be surprised what they can do. Always give people a chance before you knock them out. That's number one. Number two is listen to what people are saying. If they are doing something more than you, chances are they know more than you, right?
Mm.
So if my social team is saying, hey, these ads are not effective, I can't say, no, I know more. These ads are going to work. The data says otherwise, the expert says otherwise. Who am I? So if you're building your team, if you're trusting your team, give them that trust and let them feel that trust, right? Um, there's no point in me micromanaging somebody for the sake of it. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
That's that. The other one is have very clear cut processes in place. Make sure that your team knows exactly what they're doing. Make sure they know exactly what's expected of them. Have constant performance reviews. Tell them what their path is and let them figure out what they want their path to be too.
Mm.
Um, and the last one is be very, 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 very patient. I've not always been the best at it, um, but I've learned how to be way more patient than I was before. Um, but
Why
patience
do you
is,
say sorry, why do you say you haven't been the best at it? Well,
I have a very small window of tolerance on. I want good work. I expect good work. If we say we're the best, it better be the best. And if I receive something, if we're working on something and it's not the best, and I know that a person can do better, I get very
right,
easily disappointed. I'm like, Greg, I know you can do better. Why are you giving me this? Right? But if I actually ask Greg, hey Greg, what this is, I know you can do better. Something isn't right. Tell me what's going on. I know there's something wrong as to why you're not producing what I think you can. So help me understand what it is. You can be like, man, like I have some personal stuff happening. I am overwhelmed with these five things, or whatever the reasons are. Because I know I believe in my people more than they believe in themselves. So if I get something
mm,
that's not okay, I'm like, why? Why
right,
is that? So let's
right,
work on. Let me understand what is wrong, so we can work on making it better.
right. I don't think you noticed, but like every single step that you've outlined is correlated to a section of the early Huskies life. Like literally every single step you've outlined is
Yeah.
tied to something. So it's crazy how everything circles back to how your leadership style really attributes to like the person that you are, like your character and
Yeah.
like what you believe in. So, and I like that leadership is something that, you some say you're born with it, but I feel like it takes a lot of practice as well.
Oh yeah.
Takes a lot of practice. So,
Oh yeah.
and I know like sometimes when you're at Market One, you have a professional life, but I know there's a personal life too. So there's the
Mhm.
relationship that you have with your family and I think your wife as well. So
Yeah.
how do you turn off professional Husky to being Husky the partner or Husky the brother or Husky the son? Because those are two different dynamics. Like you're not gonna be as cutthroat with your, people per se, but how do you kind of turn it off when you when you
Yeah,
leave work?
there's days where it's hard to do that because your mind is always this, is always. But I think what I've um, tried a lot to do is when you're off work, the notifications turn off. Um, the only phone call I'll really answer is either two or three people at work I know that they're calling me for a very important reason, right? Anything else, any emails, they can wait till the next day if they need to. But I don't know. I think it's just if you're doing something, you want to be very, very present. So it hasn't been very challenging for me to turn off because if I'm spending time with Sarah, my wife, then I just care about spending time with her. Nothing else matters to me except that, say, hour we have a dinner together. Like nothing will take over that time I have with her. So I think, like you said, Greg, it's more on the compartmentalizing of things. So when I'm done work or whatever it is, I will take time to, calm down,
Right.
flush everything out, and then I'm on to the next thing. Um, but a lot of it has to do with my morning planning, my morning routines, my morning planning, my morning thoughts. If I'm good in the morning, the evening is very easy. But if I'm terrible in the morning, the evening is very anxiety inducing. So mornings have to be very, very
Day in a life this morning. How did you do
good.
it?
Today was a very busy day, actually. um, Day in the life. So this morning I woke up, took a shower. So all my thoughts happen in the shower. I play a
Love
podcast,
that.
same podcast, not the same episode, but they have a podcast every day. I listen to that. It's 30. It's about 25 minutes, and they talk about three stories that happened in the business world, overnight or whatever. Um, I know by story number two, all my thoughts are in my mind of what I need for the day, and then the next like 10 minutes, I'm getting ready and still thinking. Um, I have my breakfast, I have a cup of coffee, write down my list, go through my emails. Today I had a couple meetings downtown, so went, had lunch, did my thing. Uber on the way back, continue my meetings, have a lovely call with you right now, doing that. But it's a lot of calls with different teams, a lot of calls with my partners, a lot of calls with clients, and calls with my CEO. I'm on the phone a lot.
Gotcha. Who's your provider?
Now,
Bill. Shout out to Bill. Yeah, so I would definitely say like with a mind that is constantly running, constantly talking, constantly on the go, I think you probably have developed certain habits that, I would assume like, sleep habits are good. Like you try to get to bed early, because that's a big factor in like rejuvenation. And then also like I'm curious to know not just your sleep, like do you find workouts outside of like the regular gym, like what physical activities do you do because to just kind of keep yourself sane through the
yeah.
jungle of madness that is going on.
Greg, I recently joined the gym. I think it's been 2 weeks. So in the summer, like always playing tennis or running around all day, like that's very easy to be active in the summer. But as the weather changes, you want to be continue to do that indoor. I signed up for a gym. I'm in there like 2 3 hours a day. Monday to Thursday, I'm there for 2 3 hours. I do like a workout class. I do some drop-in stuff, steam, sauna, hot tub. Every time I'm there. Oh my God, is it good for your skin? Is it good for your mind? I absolutely
Talk to
love it.
me. Talk
Oh
to me.
man, it's so good. They told me they're doing it for gym, like it's a eucalyptus steam. I'm like signed up. Let's go. I'm down. You got me eucalyptus.
Say less.
So
When
good.
when do I start? When
Bro, come to Toronto, we'll go work out together.
Bro, I am definitely gonna pull up. Like what have you noticed has shifted prior to like doing these activities and before? Like
Oh
what has
man,
kind of changed in your ethos?
so much, so much. The other thing I do is I'm playing a lot of pickleball.
Ah,
It seems like an easy sport, but you know what that's taught me, Greg, recently is that sport taught me that once I getting into it, the more you know about something, the more you realize you don't know anything, and that's been such a humbling experience for me. Yeah, I can play tennis, I can do the sport, seems easy. Oh no,
right.
I get destroyed in it, and it's crazy. But remember what your question was again? How
Uh,
does it feel going back to the gym?
yeah, like the difference prior to
I
and
feel
now.
I feel stronger. I feel more mentally there. I feel more focused. My sleep is good. My diet's good. For a while there, I was really, I think a lot of this conversation has been very like perfect. And I just want to bring in the imperfections of beings. Um, for a while, I really was not working out. I was gaining weight. I didn't like looking at myself in the mirror. I take a picture, say,
Mm,
like, oh, I don't like what I look like. And it hurts your self esteem so much. Um,
mm,
I mean, I don't think there's been a drastic change in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever it is. But I look at myself and I'm like, I'm proud. I'm proud of myself.
right, right.
The thing that I've learned as well is the biggest competition in your life is you. You are your competition. So you look at yourself in the mirror, it's like, I'm competing with you. You. So I never thought about it that way. So yeah,
I- I'm
I love
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of
that.
you, bro. I'm proud of you. And I hope that you continue going through that journey, figuring things about yourself. And as you said, the biggest metric for me personally, I truly believe this, like the biggest metric of understanding your capability as a human being is that competition with yourself. Because there's no one else you can beat in that journey but you. Like you only have a version the only version you can compare it to is the version you were yesterday. So during that week or during that day when you you got to put that 2 to 3 hours of working out, and then it's like, I don't really want it. But then you kind of think about it, as you said, your confidence gets hit. Like I recently just read something that said like the only way to have a better tomorrow is to get better today. And there's no guarantee that tomorrow is promised, but we live in a life where we live by faith. Most of us live by faith. So we anticipate that we have another chance to go tomorrow. So the only way you can guarantee that you get better tomorrow is to be better today. And I've kind of like taken that to heart because it's like when I've had workouts that are so shitty, Husky, bro. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't really want to be here. And it's funny because like certain people will look at you and be like, you always at the gym, bro. It's not that easy. I don't want
Yeah,
to be there. But
yeah,
it just kind of goes back to like the confidence aspect. Like when you feel confident about yourself or when you look good, you feel good, you present yourself differently. Like you have an extra step, extra energy in this meetings. Like maybe by meeting number two, you were feeling a little jaded. You need coffee, but now you don't even need coffee, a glass of water and you're good because now you're active, you're moving. So I'm super proud of you and I'm happy that you kind of, and I'll hold you accountable. So when I come to Toronto, we're definitely going to hit the gym.
yes, yes. Thanks. Yeah, you should. Let's do it. I will learn a lot from you.
And I'm just trying. I don't have it figured out, but we just try day to day and keep it pushing. I think in terms of that also like I think you did a soccer event one time in Vancouver
Yes,
a couple of
yes.
years back and I'm curious just to understand your passion for soccer and what prompted that event, what you learned from that event, just because it's part of the fitness
Yeah.
module for your life.
My family has always told me that the only reason why we're blessed and we keep getting blessings is because we keep giving back, and the more you give, the more you get. I really believe in that. I think that's one of the most important lessons my parents have taught me. I've always, I've always loved doing things outside the box. I've always loved challenging myself. Football or soccer is something I love so much. I mean, growing up in Southern Africa, it's you talk about it in school, you play, and you go out at night, you're still talking about it. It is the only thing we talk about.
Mm,
And I love it. And you can never stop talking about it. Um, I, with um, a really good group of people, we started doing them on a smaller scale at a park in downtown, and it was doing very well. We would sell out all the time. It was like World Cup theme. We had a World Cup like trophy, all these things. And I was like, you know what? Why don't we just do something absolutely ridiculous? And I reached out to BC Place, and again, it's the whole best. Like, what's the best thing you could do,
I was
right?
just gonna tell you that. I was literally gonna. There goes Husky. There goes Husky with. If I'm gonna do something, it gotta be the best. I was
It's got to
literally
be the
just
best.
gonna tell you that.
Yeah, yeah, it's got to be the best. And the dates we were looking to do it are like the competition. I love competition. It's so good because it makes you better, right? Like with no competition, I would not have thought of that. But the competition they had it dialed. They've been doing it for 10 years and all these things. They had a great venue, and I was like, I really envy them. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be better than them. I don't know how, but I'm gonna figure it out. So I go to BC Place and I tell them, hey, I'm a nonprofit. I've signed up all these things. This is what I do for work. I want to book out your stadium. I'm in this boardroom, Greg. I think one of the nicest boardrooms I've been to. And you see framed pictures all around. I saw Jay-Z and Justin Timberlake. I saw Taylor Swift. I saw all Coldplay. I saw all these the Olympic Games. I saw all of around me, and there's me sitting in this really nice chair. And I was like, I was super confident. I was like, I have the money. We can do it. Tell me when it's available. I didn't have the money, and I didn't have the money, and I just said, yeah, I'm like whatever you guys need, I got it done. I was like, I got my partner signed on, I got my sponsors, I had nothing, I was at zero, and they're like, okay, you got to pay for the stadium, and then you rent it out, you got to pay for the staff, you got to pay for the security, you got to pay for the facilities, you got to pay for the audio, you got to do all these things. and this is how much it's gonna cost. I'm like, okay, go. I took money out of my own account and I paid it. And I was like, I knew that we were going to be successful. So once we finished the event, I knew I was going to get that money back. I knew I was not going to fail. As a kid, imagine playing at a football stadium where the Olympics are held. Imagine playing where an MLS team plays. You know, imagine playing in a field where David Beckham played. Like it's just
Right. It's
right. It's a no-brainer. It's beautiful. Sold out the tournament. I think in a week and a half. We raised I think $20,000 to $30,000 that day. We had the former mayor come in and do a talk. We had a former Premier League, former Whitecaps captain slash Premier League player come and do a talk. We had sponsors basically all over Vancouver. They gave something or they donated something, and that high that I got was after doing it was unbelievable,
right.
unbelievable. Um, I saw grown adults, grown adults behaving like 12-year-olds when they ran onto the pitch. Imagine, oh man, it was dope. It was unbelievable, um, and yeah, it was truly something to be able to do that.
I'm super proud that I asked about this because even just understanding the concept of giving back, I didn't know that was the motivation behind that.
Yeah,
I just figured like I saw some of my peoples who went for that actual tournament and I was like, yo man, that's cool. When are they gonna do it again? And I don't think you did it again after that.
we didn't do it. We
Yeah.
didn't do it. We didn't do it after.
But then it also it brings me to the question of like I recently watched a movie and they asked that it was like a rhetorical question when you were talking about like grown men behaving like 12-year-old kids. And I'm gonna ask you the same question. Like when is the last time that you actually played?
Football?
Like no, just played in general. Remember when you would go out back in Z,
Oh,
play
last time
outside?
I played?
Like you go play
No,
outside, you chill, and then you come back and you just go back home and sleep, shower, sleep. But then the last time that you actively immerse yourself in an activity without thinking about it, let yourself go, be present, and just have fun. When's the
it
last
doesn't
time
have
you
to be a
played?
sport. It doesn't have to do with sport. It's just whatever you did was the last time I played.
Right,
Oh man, that's a really good question. Last time I think I really try to incorporate a lot of play into my life, but the last time I truly played was recently actually my friend's wedding in Barcelona. He's one of
oh,
the people I told you we're very like Ty was one of the people that we like we basically graduated together. We hung out all the time. And it was like a long play because it was his bachelor party in Whistler. We were just having a great time.
right,
In Barcelona at his wedding again. All of us were together in the same place, and people from all over the world came. We were in Vancouver at one point, but now like one of my best friends from Singapore was there, a lot of friends from Van, from the UK. Everybody was in one place, um, and it was honestly a really good time. And we played a lot. We just laughed, and it was a great time. That was the last time we
right.
all played together.
But then, do you realize how hard it was to pinpoint that question? Because it's like sometimes when we grow and age, we start forming routines and systems that, it's plug and play. It's plug and play. But we are
Yeah,
not really playing. We're just plugging and going. So sometimes I think I'm gonna challenge you next time I have you on, I'm gonna challenge you with the same question and I'd expect a
yeah, yeah.
quick answer.
Yeah, it's true. Play is such a great. The reason why that question is so good because you use the word play. No,
Right,
not when was the last time you did something fun. When was the last time you went out? It's play. Play is such a unique word that it gets you thinking. When was I playing last? So it's a
right.
really good.
Appreciate you for answering, man. And before we kind of wrap up things, I feel like I could go on, but
Yeah,
the typical outro is when you think about your life, when you think about the success, the pain, the challenges, the growth, all of it, like when you encompass life in one word, it all boils down to
but what life boils down to?
just the journey of life, the concept of
Purpose.
life,
Purpose. Purpose.
purpose. Why
Everything should
does
be
why does Husky say purpose?
I don't believe that anybody should do something without there being a purpose to it. For example, one of the things is my wife. I truly like love this person so much. One of the my purpose in life is to be with her forever and live the best possible life I can with her and for her. That's a huge purpose of my life. Another purpose of my life is to spend quality time with my entire family, to spend time with my friends. Purpose also involves conversations like this. If you say, "Hey, Husky, I'd like to chat with you," if I don't have a purpose in terms of what am I doing this for, why am I doing it, I'm not going to be present, right? But the purpose is I want to be very present in this conversation. And so you need a purpose for anything. If you have a purpose for going to the gym, it's like, why am I going to the gym? If you have a purpose, I want to like save money and buy a business or buy a house or do all those things, there needs to be a purpose. Why are you buying a house? If you're just buying because everyone's buying a house, it doesn't make sense.
Right?
It's not a shitty house. Like what's the purpose? You know?
Like
So
this,
I'm thinking a lot about purpose and meaning, but purpose.
that's a good one. No one has said that before.
All right.
I feel
What did God say?
God said being in the arena.
That's a tie.
Yeah, he's when he said it, I was like, yeah, that makes more sense. He said being in the arena, and
Yeah,
I gotta get Buck next too. So
yeah,
he's on my radar. We typically do like a guest intro type thing, so I will let you do the honors if you want. Hint,
sure.
hint. But yeah, that's Husky guys. And where can people find you or like your company and like if they want to support anything that you guys are doing, anything exciting you got coming up in terms of like giving back? A little challenge for you over there.
Giving back. No, but I'm working with my wife on something. So once that is, I will share that. Where to find me? Honestly, LinkedIn. Just text me. Don't call me, text me.
Great.
But yeah, as I've always said, if someone needs something, just hit me up. Chances are, I'll do my best to help as much.
I'm a firm advocate for that because like when I hit you up, it was more of like, that imposter. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Oh
whoa, whoa,
yeah, yeah,
whoa.
the Apple thing. I don't know how to turn it off. I like to turn it off.
That's a perfect close to the episode though. Like, yo, celebration. I find you're truly like somebody I admire and I look up to because of your genuine heart to like help people and connect with people. And as this episode comes to a close, I feel like one of the things Todd told me about you before I met you was your genuine desire to just be a good person. And I can't say enough about that, despite the fact that, when in Vancouver, we didn't really kick it like that. But like, I feel like if I need something in the realm of like career or life advice, I'll be very comfortable saying I could call Husky and he'll give
Yeah,
me the best advice. So
yeah.
just keep doing that. We appreciate you, bro. Thanks for sharing, dropping the gems. This is the first, I think, of many. I hope as this platform grows, I bring you back, and the more you grow, you come back to share more experiences, more gems. And I'm super grateful for your time today, bro. If you have any other final remarks, this is the time. But otherwise, that's it from Limitless, man.
Thank you. Well, two things. One, starting something is super hard, and the hardest part is actually starting it. So you've done the hardest part of this, and I'm very proud of you. It's so hard, and nobody understands it unless they've done it themselves. So what you were doing by just taking that leap is incredible. It's amazing. So number one, kudos to you for doing that. And
Thank you.
secondly, I think you are one of the five. You are in the top five people I've met this year. I think you possess a lot of intelligence, a lot of care, a lot of action, a lot of purpose. Your story is inspiring, and I hope you share that more and more to a lot of people. But thank you for coming into my life too.
That's the sweetest outro I've ever received, bro.
Yeah,
Like, mostly it's just like people giving outros, but thanks, man. That means a lot. And
yeah,
I'm
man.
gonna take that to heart. I appreciate that. Thank you for the feedback. And honestly, just truly humbled, bro. Truly
Yeah,
humbled.
man. Yeah, come to Toronto. Come to Toronto.
We'll be there soon. But for now, let me press the end record button and then till next time, bro.
All right, take it easy.